housemd, ranking the seasons. Hello and welcome to this week's video. This week I wanted to do a video about House. Now, I don't think I've mentioned, I don't know whether I've mentioned House at all on this channel. I know I've included some clips on some of my music vids, but I can't remember really mentioning it. I certainly don't think I've ever done a proper in-depth discussion of it. So this seems like an opposite time, especially since I've just kind of been re-binging some of the later seasons on Netflix. Because I only actually have the first 3 seasons on DVD. And there's a reason for that. I'll do it in the form of a ranking the seasons vid. Be careful, hardcore fans and certain fans of certain characters may not like this. You know what I'm like? I don't hold back with my opinions, folks. I was a big fan of House when it started. I was a very big fan for, like I said, the first 3 seasons, and then it kind of started going a bit downhill for me. I think I did watch it all, though there may have been some episodes that I noped out of, or even there may even have been a period where I turned off in disgust for a few weeks. But we'll talk about that as we go. There's 8 seasons, so which is my least favourite? Now again, I suspect I'm going to be controversial from the start. I don't know, but because I don't really know anything about House fandom, but there's from various comments I've seen on, YouTube or whatever, maybe I will piss off a lot of people. I tend to do that. Apologies. Number 8, season 5. I think season 5 is probably my least favourite season. The primary reason for that is that I don't particularly like the new team that we got in mid-season 4. Kuttner's all right, but he doesn't really stay very long, does he? Because the actor decided to bugger off. I don't dislike Taub, though. I never really understood why he was there, to be honest. And I have to be honest. I really don't like 13. I've never liked 13. The character just gets on my tits. I think I've said this before on YouTube comments, but I do wonder. I do wonder who on the House production crew Olivia Wilde was blowing in order to basically steal Jennifer Morrison's job, because I just don't understand the appeal of this character at all. She's like a really out of touch cringe person's idea of what a cool character is. She likes girls, and I mean, for me to say that this is cringe, that's saying a lot if you know anything about me. But it's like, yeah, no one cares, or at least I don't. I just find her character incredibly boring, incredibly uninteresting, and the seasons where she was prevalent, yeah, they're probably my least favorite. I'm sorry, and I know that lots of people were or are thirsty for Olivia Wilde. I can't say I was ever one of them. She does nothing for me. I guess she's attractive in a skanky kind of way. She just never did anything for me. I'm sorry. Now, season 5, again, I'm not saying this is absolutely terrible or anything, but, there's some decent episodes. But something has to go last, and it's going to be this season. 7th place, season 6. Basically here for much of the same reasons as season 5. Higher than season 5, simply because for the first half a dozen episodes, Cameron actually gets something to fucking do and actually rejoins the team, and isn't just a glorified extra like she is in seasons 4 and 5. And I love Cameron, so I'm glad to see her back. And then it turns out to just be a ruse and an excuse to write her off the show. This did not go down well with me at the time. It still doesn't go down well with me now. Apparently the whole the whole thing of what went on after season 3 is that the writers would just wanted more characters to play with, and that, and it's like that's a good excuse, but they brought Foreman back onto the team, and then they brought Chase back onto the team eventually, and Cameron just gets kicked off. Fuck you. You heard me. Fuck you. Yeah, so again, I think this was the one where I actually stopped watching for a few weeks because it just really immensely pissed me off, because I was actually really enjoying the first bunch of episodes, because hey, Cameron's back, they're actually doing something with her, thank God. Oh, she's fucked off permanently. Thanks for that. Anyway, it's number 6. Now this is actually a slightly tough call between places 6 and 5. I'm going to give it to season 8. I'm not sure how popular this season is. I know some people. I think I've heard some comments, mainly because Cody's not in it, which does make it slightly weird. I quite like the season. It's not bad by any means. I find it less boring than the ones with sort of 13 centric. Sorry. It does feel a bit weird without Cuddy, though Foreman basically being the boss does add an interesting new dynamic. And I quite like the new team members, even if they don't really get enough time to really do stuff with them. Though I like Park in particular. She's cute and funny, and cute and funny goes down well with Ian. So, yeah, I don't mind the season. I'm giving it 6th place. 5th place, again, it's a tough call between this and season 8 in these positions. Season 4. Because this was the season where they started messing things around, and this was the season where it all started going a bit, foobar. We've got a new dynamic for much of the season, where at least half the season, where he's auditioning new fellows after firing Cameron, Chase, and Foreman at the end of the last season, even though they're still in it. And indeed, Foreman comes back to the fold within about 3 episodes, while Cameron and Chase are working elsewhere in the hospital. And then eventually you get, in the mid-season, you get the 3 new fellows in 13, Taub and Kuttner. I don't know. I find it. I'm not a big fan. I suppose some of the episodes are interesting. I remember watching at the time, and because of how good the first 3 seasons were and how much of a fan I was, I assumed that they knew what they were doing. That there was some kind of plan to kind of reintegrate the old cast members, because they were still in the show. And indeed, Foreman was the first one to kind of fully come back into the team. And then it doesn't happen. I mean, it takes ages for Chase, not even this season, for Chase to come back. And then Cameron, they just waste for 2 seasons, give us something to do, and then fuck off. This is, again, it's not a bad season. The 2-part finale is excellent, and there's a couple of other standouts, particularly the one with Mira Sorvino as a doctor who's struck down with illness, and House is having to diagnose her from afar because she's stuck in at the South Pole or whatever, in the Arctic. That was a really good episode. I really liked that one. But again, I mean, if I'm being generous, I can kind of see what they were trying to do by expanding the cast. But the problem is, this is not an ensemble. It's not an ensemble show like other hospital shows. It's fundamentally about House diagnosing medical mysteries. You don't really. It doesn't work having Cameron as head of the ER or Chase as a surgeon, because you don't need them there. That's not how the show functions. You need House. You need his team. You need Cuddy, or you need Cuddy as his boss, and you need Wilson as his bestie. you don't really need other members of the hospital staff. And so putting Cameron and Chase in those things in a bid to try and expand the cast, it just doesn't work. Maybe it was done with good intentions. I'll be generous and say that, but it doesn't work. And I think it's telling that the highest rated season of House was actually season 3, and then the ratings started going down after that. And it's like, well, yeah, people tune into shows because they like the show the way it is, and they like the characters the way they are. And if you start fucking with the cast and with the characters on a regular basis, people start losing interest. I kind of did. Anyway, where are we? We're at number 4. 4th place. Season 7. I'm going to put this fairly high. Not least because 13's hardly in it. And because Masters is. And I really like Masters. A, because she's played by Amber Tamblyn, who's really cute, and I really like her. And B, because the character kind of reminds me of Cameron, albeit a somewhat more socially awkward version of her. And I really like Masters. I really liked Amber Tamblyn. This is again though, I'm absolutely baffled as to why didn't they keep her on? She's basically a regular for like 90% of the season. And then they just get rid of her. It's like, why? And like I said, at first viewing, she got me kind of invested again after several seasons of kind of drifting and going, this is getting a bit. And then they fucking get rid of her again, and 13 comes back. It's like, no, fuck no. Why? Albeit not for long, because she doesn't actually stick around very long. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm giving 4th place to season 7. 3rd place, season 3. Season 3 is not perfect by any means. I think the nasty policeman storyline with David Morse goes on too long and gets interminably tedious to the point where you just want House to actually pick up a shotgun and blow the fucker away for being such a obnoxious little cunt. To be fair, the second half of the season, once they've dropped that, it goes back to the standard House, and standard House is very, very good. I'm putting it this high simply because it's the last season with the OG classic cast. And the show was never really quite the same for me after that. 2nd place. Yeah, I have to be honest, this is probably kind of interchangeable with the first, really. Season 2. It's a great season. I mean, this is the show that I liked. This is the show that I watched. This is the show that I rapidly became a fan of. You've got a bit of an arc with the House's ex, Stella Ward. I can't remember the character name. You have that great two-parter. You have that great two-parter where whatever is killing one of the patients starts killing Foreman as well. It's a very strong season. You've got the very dramatic ending where House gets shot. Rather weird how they never really followed up on that with the shooter, though, isn't it? I could never quite understand where that just disappeared, didn't it? Oh well. But anyway, great season. And number 1, my favourite season is probably season 1. Just because it's the classic House. It's the show I fell in love with before they started fucking with it. Again, really like the characters, really like the show. Very clever way to do a doctor hospital show by basically turning it into like a detective mystery show, where whatever the disease is the mystery killer. Very clever. I know the general setup and the character was based on Sherlock Holmes, etc. And it's a great season and a great start to the show. Yeah, I'm going to put season 1 as my favourite. Anyway, that's this ranking video. I'm sure it will enrage and infuriate some people. I don't care. That's my opinion of House. I'll say that my opinion of the later seasons has softened somewhat. Bit kind of rewatching them a long time later. My God, how long has it been? A very long time. On Netflix. Still don't particularly like those mid seasons 5 and 6. Kind of liked season 4 a bit more than I did the first time. I still wonder what was going through their heads when they started messing with it after season 3. It just seems such a weird thing to do. It really does what they did. You know, shows don't generally start fucking about with characters unless there's there's behind the scenes reasons, like the actors are leaving or something like that. And they took a hugely successful show and they started messing around with the characters just for the hell of it. And as I said, I know the ratings started going down when they started doing that. Why would you do that? I don't know. Anyway, I think it's still a good show for the most part. After season 3, again, I particularly liked season 7. But yeah, it still kind of disappoints me and baffles me sometimes that they went in some of the directions that they did after season 3. Very odd. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and aren't too busy throwing rotten tomatoes at the screen. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye for now. Comment.